KalKal insulated rubber boot. Why you want these for survival. Hi guys, and welcome to Doug Shoe Bushcraft. The air temperature is 28 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm hiking into the mountains. We've had snow, just light snow, basically enough to cover the ground and make everything wet. And in New Hampshire, we have a lot of marshy areas, a lot of wet spots in the woods. It's not far enough in the winter for it to be frozen yet. So this time of year, these conditions, it's really important to have the right kind of boots so I don't get a cold injury or get into so much trouble out there that I'm in danger of not making it back. I've worn boots similar to this in the winter since I was a child, and I've worn ones that are just uninsulated rubber, and I can make do with that if I have warm enough boot socks or liners. However, this model from KalKal is insulated with neoprene. It's got a neoprene shaft. The base of the boot is also neoprene on the inside, and then it's overmolded with rubber. And it's just a joy to wear out in the woods because I can stand in water. I never have to worry about this soaking through because it's impermeable. I see too many people, and it seems like more and more over the years wearing something that looks like a sneaker. Might be a trail runner or something like that, low cut, and they might be a little bit insulated, and it could have a Gore-Tex membrane or some other sort of water resistant membrane. It could have like a so-called waterproof coating, but that's not enough because something happens, you end up off the trail. There's snow or water deeper than your low-cut boot, and you get moisture, water, snow in there. It's just bad. I want something with at least just a little bit of a shaft, and this is excellent. This is almost reaching my knee, and almost eliminates the need for gaiters because the neoprene is a little bit rubbery. And then with it overmolded toward the bottom with the rubber, it's even tougher. So I find that most of the branches and briars are hitting right around here, the lower part of my shin, where it meets the foot usually. That's about everything hits. So anything kind of pokey or stabby, abrasive, it's hitting that. I don't even feel it. It's cushiony. And then the neoprene continues to go way up my leg, and it's just excellent. The only reason I'd need gaiters is if we got snow deeper than that. Then if I was post-holing, snow might get in over the top. These don't have a cinch string or like a built-in gaiter, but that's fine in my opinion because I could pair them with gaiters in very deep snow. The manufacturer, KalKal, says that these boots are comfort rated from -4 degrees Fahrenheit to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, which is -20 Celsius to +20 Celsius. And this is the beginning of the winter. I haven't worn them through a long cold winter. However, from hiking with them a couple weeks now, I would say that I believe that comfort rating is realistic. But even better that I'm pairing them with these really thick boot socks. These I purchased at Job Lot. Nothing special, just a thick, heavy insulated boot sock. Okay, so since they don't have lacing or buckles or anything like that, therefore sizing is important. is a little bit forgiving because of the stretchiness of the rubber and the neoprene. My boot size is usually a 9, sometimes a 9.5. So I ordered these in 10. Like most boots of this type, half sizes aren't available. So I ordered it in 10, and with just normal thin socks, they're a little bit loose, but then with these boot socks that I showed you, perfect fit. And again, I believe in the winter I'd be fine just with thin socks, but with the insulated socks, excellent in my opinion. And then with the heavy socks, some water can be introduced if I step in a pond or a stream that's taller than the shaft, maybe I don't realize it, or if I post hole and snow goes in. That can happen, but usually how moisture is introduced is from my own body through sweat. So then the socks get sweaty. It's a really good idea to have spare socks, just swap them out, you know. And usually in the winter, particularly very cold weather, the air is dry. This day is an exception. When I started out hiking, it was 28 degrees Fahrenheit. May or may not warm up to freezing, but even so it feels just damp to me. I haven't actually measured the humidity, but just feels damp. That's an exception. Usually in the winter, and even more so the colder it gets, the air gets more and more dry. So then when I swap out my socks, the damp ones, I can just, if I'm at camp, hang them on a tree. If I have a campfire, I can put them relatively close to the fire, but even without the fire, just hanging up in the breeze, I'll tend to dry out pretty quickly. Or if I'm hiking, I can tie them on my pack, just loosely hanging on the pack, just trying to make sure I don't lose them. And in a number of hours, they're significantly dry, maybe not perfectly dry, like you pull them out of a dryer at home, but more than dry enough to wear usually if it's not raining or snowing. And then these boots, they're insulated, but it's neoprene. There's no lining to speak of other than the neoprene. Feels comfortable because it's soft, but I mean there's no like cloth lining that I can see to get wet. So if water is introduced somehow, significant amount of water, I just pour them out, right? and I'm good to go. And keeping your feet warm on the trail, out in the wilderness, very important. With me, if my feet get cold, whole body's cold, you know. And just a lot of people that I speak to really resistant to wearing an actual boot. They want to wear something that looks like a sneaker, or almost a sneaker, or if it's a boot, it's like the size boot that you might see like working at a factory or a warehouse or something, rather than what's perceived as like the big, some people would say bulky boot. It's not really, but people think they're blocky or big. They're bigger than your shoe that you wear in your house or at the mall. But if it looks like a shoe, like your normal indoor shoe, it's not gonna save you. I mean, there's danger involved. If everything just goes fine, you run along the trail, you stick on the trail, you make it back on time, that's fine. You're starting to get in any sort of trouble, and it's not going to be enough. And you get a cold injury on your foot out there. You need your feet to get home, to self-rescue. What are you going to do? Crawl all the way? Well, maybe people have done things like that for literal miles, but I mean, do you want to resort to that, or do you want to be able to walk out? And I'd rather be comfortable, really, and safe. Why take unnecessary risks? So anyway, that's my rundown of this sort of boot. This particular manufacturer and this model, they sent it to me, and I've been wearing them out here a couple weeks or so. But as I said, this type of boot I've worn in the winter in the woods since I was a child, and for most conditions this is a good all-purpose winter boot, you know, hiking, hunting, bushcrafting, and if something goes wrong, you know, it's basically fail-proof. So thank you to KalKal for sending me these. They gave me a color choice. There's ones that are solid black. This one, it has a brown shaft and then black rubber. I thought that contrast looked nice. Then this here is like a darker gray, looks to me like a darker brownish gray, a little bit of contrast. I think it's beautiful. Soles are really grippy, got some nice tread, but also the rubber's grippy. So I love it. And again, KalKal, thank you so much. Thank you guys for joining me. Be back real soon. Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and befriend faithfulness. Psalm 37:3.